Right, you guys. Hey, everybody. We're getting ready to go live to have this conversation about 90 Day Fiance, happily ever after. Y'all stay tuned. Come on in the room. I'm going to play this intro and we're going to be right back.
Yes, well,
Welcome to the Juice Radio Talk Show. 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 Reality TV, church reviews. Let's talk happy love and marriage lifestyle. Come and talk with us. Come and share with us. Come and laugh with us. Come on and pray with us.
Regina and Clovis, special guests. You should be following your lead. Bless. Subscribe on YouTube. Listen on podcasts. We live on IG and Facebook. This episode is sponsored by Truth and Triumph Ministries.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Juice Radio and Talk Show. Thank y'all for being here. You guys, let's get ready to have this conversation.
I can't wait. Well, hi, Jonathan.
What's going on, Dustin? How you doing?
We're hanging in there.
Yes, we
Wonderful,
are.
wonderful.
hmm And I thank you for the 11 support that I announced on the channel. So thanks for the 11 support as always, Jonathan.
Absolutely. Anytime, anytime. Always here for you, Dustin.
Thank you.
Listen, you guys, we're going to have a wonderful conversation. I just finished listening to watching 90 Day Fiance. You know, you guys, there's a lot going on here. A lot going on with these couples.
Yes, there is.
Let's go ahead and get started. Or which one do you want to start with today, Dustin?
I'm going to start with Colby and Emily.
Okay.
Colby and Emily, that's one of my favorite couples, if you can already tell. And I feel bad because she doesn't. I want to be driving in that country because there's so many cars and you can't get in it's all over the road and you can't. I won't be able to do that. So I don't think I would be able to live in that kind of country. I'm so used to the United States with having the road blocked off a certain way, but I don't think that's gonna work out that way for them.
Well, I was a little scared for them when they were at that airport. Now I'm gonna have to say I was a little nervous.
Yeah, that's a
At
little
that
nervous for them.
Yes. But this is a beautiful couple. I watched them as they did some of the pillow talk, and I did not watch their original journey on 90 Day Fiance. Actually started following this couple when they were on the pillow talk, and I actually like this couple. They are so cute to me. She does have a little A-type personality, a little bit of that control issue there.
I
And
can see it. I can see it, Regina. I can tell that she has a little bit has a little bit of control tendencies, but not as much as Jasmine. Jasmine is the worst out of the control. But I feel bad for Jasmine as well.
yeah, Jonathan, tell us about this beautiful couple. What's your thoughts on them?
I really do love Kobe and Emily. I will say though, I saw a little bit of the controlling aspect with Emily in the first episode, so I was a little bit worried. But as the episodes have gone on, we're now in episode 3. I'm glad that I haven't continued to see that. I don't know if she's holding back. If she is, I'm happy about that. I don't know if she sees it in herself and she's kind of editing that out of her, out of her appearance on the show. I'm glad I'm not seeing the controlling part of her. I thought that, it was beautiful to see Kobe's family. All of it looked like there were 50 people that greeted them when they got to his father's house. But I'm loving to see all of the camaraderie amongst them. I'm so glad that they accepted Emily's family with open arms. I'm sure that they appreciated the fact that Emily's family was dressed in their African garb. I love to see that. I love to see the embracing of their family and almost emotions that Kobe was feeling to see his father offer that gift to Emily's father in acceptance of them, bringing their family to them, and to see Kobe and Emily's kids interacting with their cousins. That was so
Yes.
awesome. It was so
Mhm.
beautiful to see. I was a little bit worried when Emily's family had all these questions about Kobe's family wanting them to have a wedding ceremony, not understanding why. Although yes, they are married, but you have to understand when certain cultures have traditions, they abide by those traditions, and if those traditions are not abided by, then in their culture the marriage is non-existent. And so, I don't think it takes too much to just go along with the traditions. Yes, they're not your traditions, but your daughter is married to this man whose family has traditions. So it doesn't take much to just abide by those traditions just for their sake. And I don't know if their resistance was just due to them being on a reality show, so they just wanted to show resistance, although that might not have been in their mind in particular. But that's
Mhm.
just some this is just a little thing that worried me. I'm sure they'll go along with it. And The fact that Emily's mother said that she didn't like the fact that it seemed like there was a barter type of situation going on with the food, and we're
Woo!
exchanging our food for our daughter. Like, just be a little bit more understanding. Again, understand that that's just not your culture, so you're not going to understand why they have these traditions. Just go along with it. As long as they're not killing your daughter, I think you'll be fine. Okay.
I think she will be. Y'all say hello to Ollie Hall. That's in the comments.
Hello,
Hey,
Ollie Hall.
thank you for being here. And beautiful Bianca is here. Hey,
Hey,
Bianca.
Bianca.
Thank you for being here, you guys. And we've got Bianca saying hello to Ollie as well. Now, Bianca's reminding you guys to hit that lights up button. Come on now, hit that thumbs up, relax, enjoy the show. Ladybug77 is here. Hello. How you
Come on,
doing?
Ladybug. I love that name.
Now, she's saying Emily's parents are ignorant. Oh,
Now, I wouldn't say ignorant, but I say controlling.
Well, technically, they sort of kind of are ignorant in a way because it seems as though they don't want to understand the traditions. They're not giving the effort to try to understand the traditions. And I wish they were a little bit more susceptible to other people's way of living. It seems like
Me
they
too.
don't want to try to understand it. And I wish they would give a little bit more effort to try to understand why they have these traditions.
Well,
and
it depends. Oh,
that's the thing with culture. When your daughter is marrying this culture, yes, it's your daughter's responsibility also to learn the culture, but it's also your responsibility as her parents to also learn the culture. Especially when he was living with y'all, y'all were all living together.
Exactly.
So why didn't any of the questions come? And even if he did not discuss any of these things, then you have to be more open minded to understand this is what they're doing and be acceptable
Exactly.
to that.
mm.
Thank you so much. Ladybug is saying hello to everyone again. Thank
Hello,
you so much
Ladybug.
for saying right. Dustin, you were saying something, you were chiming in about them?
I was saying that they need to figure out what they're going to do because they are married. She is married into another culture, so they need to adapt to the culture. Because I,
Hmm.
Right.
if that's like I say, if any one of us get married, Regina, I know you're already married, but if any
Hmm.
one of us get married, we have to adapt to the changes in our life. So she
Exa-
has to adapt just like the family does as well. So you know, it's kind of like a catch-22 in my opinion. If you're not
Hmm.
It
going to
is.
adapt, you have to adapt in order to be a part of their life.
Yes.
You might not like the changes, that's okay, but you do have to adapt and you have to be a part of their life.
I love that.
Exactly. It's unfair if your daughter gets married and I won't say that they're refusing to accept it, but there's resistance in accepting their culture, and I can't get with that. I honestly can't.
I can't either,
Mhm.
Jonathan, and I do agree with you 110%, Jonathan.
Yes,
Yeah.
That
yes.
they have to adapt,
Right.
or their marriage is going to fall apart.
I want to say this.
Colby and
I think
Emily.
their baby girl is so cute because even when they were at the airport and he came and he just handed her off to the friend and she was just so comfortable right there in the friend's arms. Their babies are so cute and I love
Well,
that they just go to other people.
well, he did just look just kind of like Daddy. Okay, they did look almost just alike, so that didn't surprise me.
My question is,
They're so
my,
cute.
my question is what my question is real quick. Colby and Emily, what do you think about the wedding? And if they had the wedding, do you think it's because I think the wedding is going to be uh, very touching point of the season, and I think it's going to be a very emotional part of the
Ooh,
season, and I
mm,
think it's going to bring a lot of tea out.
ooh, I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see with that one. I don't know. What's your response, Jonathan?
I would hope that it would bring more joy to them because it's clearly
Yeah.
extremely, extremely important to Kobe's family that they do this.
Yeah,
And again, I don't know if they're resistant just to bring more drama to the show or if they are genuinely resistant. And I'm thinking they might be genuinely resistant to it. And again, that just bothers me. And I would just hope that they will be more understanding of someone else's culture. Yes, I
and
understand
that
that
goes.
you don't get it and
Mhm.
it's foreign to you. But you have to be as Dustin was saying, you have to be adaptable when you're dealing with someone from another culture.
You do. You absolutely do. Real quick, if we can go over to Jasmine and Gino,
Yes,
talk
we'll
about their
go there.
situation. As Jonathan rolls his eyes at Jasmine.
I love that to see that. I love to see that. Come on, back road. One
Jasmine
more,
and
one more,
Gino.
more.
Now they're having this conversation, and the person that helps him with
The lawyer.
the lawyer, he's
Hmm.
basically kind of telling them, that Gino should have put the kids on there when he
Yep,
applied for Jasmine
and
to
I
come on.
agree with that. I
Yeah,
agree with that.
Jasmine should have also made sure that the process was that as well.
Hmm.
I don't know for what reason Gino didn't put it, but Gino was standing firm when he was sitting at that table in that little restaurant with his arms crossed, like he is not going to get a lawyer. He is not paying for a lawyer. He don't care how much he cried. He was not paying for another lawyer. What's your
Yeah.
thoughts on that? I'm gonna come to you, Dustin. What's your thoughts?
My thoughts are this marriage is not going to last just because of that. Uh,
Mm,
my red flags went off in my head because
mm,
I felt like she told him that she wanted them kids there in the first place. Thank you, Jonathan. She wanted them kid. See if she wanted them kids in the first place anyway. So if you're basically telling her to go back to the other country because she's not going to stay here without them kids, and you're sitting there telling her that it's going to take you 2 years. I don't think so. I think I see her going back on a plane, and she ain't going to stay here. And then I also think that I think that she's gonna make him get a lawyer, or either he's gonna have to go back with her. She's gonna go back by herself.
well, Jasmine has a way of getting what she wants from Gino. I do
Yeah,
not
but
see one.
he also told her that he's standing firm because he don't have the
He
money
did.
for a lawyer. So
He he's
we're gonna see what happens because I
do
don't
y'all
think.
think that do y'all
Mhm.
think somebody's talking to Gino telling him you need to stand firmer, be more firmer with Jasmine? Do y'all think because
Yes,
that's the feeling I
yes,
got.
I do. I think that
That's
it's
the
one of
feeling I
his family
got.
members.
Jonathan, go ahead. Go ahead. I know that's your favorite couple. I'm teasing with
Gino is showing his ASS, and I cannot stand it. Gino is showing that he is a BAN. For those of y'all
Ooh,
who know, y'all know. He's showing his immaturity when he was sitting there at that table with his arms folded. He wouldn't.
he
He
was
did
not
He's
not
very
want to hear anything that Jasmine had to say.
mm,
And
he's
I'm sorry,
very
Regina,
immature.
but I have to disagree with you when it comes to him, when it comes to Jasmine needing to take accountability for her kids not being on those forms.
mm,
It
mhm.
was Gino's
Gino needs to.
responsibility to do
Oh,
that
okay.
paperwork for
Okay.
Jasmine to come over to America. So it was his responsibility to understand and to know that those kids needed to be on that paperwork. Jasmine had
Oh,
nothing to do with that paperwork, at least from my standpoint. I don't believe that Jasmine had anything to do with the paperwork for he's the one that's in America. So it's his responsibility to make sure that all of that is in line. It's his responsibility to make sure that though all of those I's are dotted and all those T's are crossed. And for him to try to put that on Jasmine is very immature. And to me, that showed me that Gino does not care. Period, point blank. Gino don't care. He don't care. He doesn't care.
I kind of thought that Jasmine had the ability to see what documents and stuff he was filing before he filed. That's where
No,
I
no,
was mistaken. Okay.
no.
Okay.
She don't. She doesn't have. When he files the paperwork and he puts it in, she doesn't have the right. She doesn't have have the way to see it. She might wish she had it, but she don't have the way to see it. So it does fall on him, Regina, to
Okay.
file the paperwork.
Then I get that. Then I get it. Sorry, Jasmine. It's not your fault. Sorry, Jasmine.
And and
She was,
and
she was crying for real. I do want to say this about Jasmine, though.
Mhm.
I am proud of Jasmine because her reactions have really calmed down. She has really calmed herself. She pulls herself together. She don't fire off a firecracker as fast as she used to. And I'm kind of proud of her for that. What's your thoughts, Dustin?
Well, I'm proud of her. Not. I'm proud of her for not falling apart the way as she did, but she still falls apart. Um,
Yeah.
quickly, but I'm so glad that she's not the way she was before. She's a lot better. She's a lot understanding more. But I think that, like I said, and I'll say it again, I don't think I don't see this marriage lasting because of that reason right there. Uh,
Mm.
I just don't see it. I don't see him wanting to bring the kids over here. I think he is dragging his feet.
He
He
can, if Gino drags this because he don't want them kids over here, now I'm gonna be real mad at Gino because come on now, that's
he
that girl's kids.
he he he's dragging his feet, and I can see it. Um, because she told him in the first place before they started dating that she wanted them kids over here, and
Right.
he didn't follow the paperwork. So that's on him.
Oh, Jonathan, tell me about these two.
Regina, Dustin, it was music to my ears when Jasmine said, I want a divorce. I don't want to be with you. I want to go back to Pamela. That was
Yes,
music
I
to
agree
my
with you,
ears.
Justin. I agree with you. I
Now,
agree with you.
I don't believe Jasmine is going to put any action behind those words, and that was the only downfall to hearing that because I know Jasmine's not going to leave Gino. I just don't think she's going to leave him. I wish that she would and go find a man that's going to put in the effort, like a man should want to put in the effort. Gino has no
Sure.
desire to put in any effort, and that's why I
Hmm.
keep on saying I don't like Gino. Just like Aaron don't can't stand Rob. I can't stand Gino. I can stand Rob because Rob stands in his lack of effort. Rob stands in that Gino tries to defend his lack of effort. I don't I can't get with Gino. I'm sorry. Gino
Well,
is a no go for me.
Robin Sophia, and I sent this I sent the link to Regina. If she wants to pull it up. Rob and Sophia are no longer together, so that's another part that we can talk about. They are no longer together, according to uh, In Touch Weekly.
Okay. Let me
But yeah, it was really I love to hear and it sounded like Jasmine meant what she said. But the thing is, whenever Jasmine says something, it really sounds like she means it. So it's like you
I
don't
know.
know. I don't know when to believe Jasmine and when not to believe Jasmine until she actually puts some action behind her
Hmm.
words. I would love for Jasmine to leave Gino because Gino does not deserve Jasmine.
Yeah,
mm,
and
wow.
and and Gino does not deserve Jasmine. I do agree with that. And also,
Jasmine's
Jasmine
Jasmine
is
is
not happy. Jasmine is
Jasmine
not
is
happy
too
with him.
good for Gino. Gino don't deserve. I would say what Gino does deserve, but I'm just going to leave those comments to myself. But Jasmine is too good for Gino. Jasmine puts in too much effort for Gino to put in zero
Well,
effort.
one thing is they can help with your. And I'm going to say this quick, Regina.
Hmm.
One thing that can help with the money for the lawyer, if you go back to work and start working and making money, I mean, Gino, that's how you can
Hmm.
make the money. You can make enough. You can make enough money to go if you go back to work for a while and build up your money. Because I know for a fact you're living off your savings. So, who you're not living off this TV show because this TV show don't pay you hardly anything,
Hmm.
allegedly.
Right. If Gino went back to work, he might have $5,000 to hire a lawyer. But Gino's not going to take
But
that
but
initiative
but
because Gino's
but
a BAN.
well, he was supposed to go back
Mm.
to work, but allegedly he didn't go back to work, and that's why Jasmine's so mad at him.
Woo. Listen, I don't know about these two, but I think, like Jonathan said, some people may want her to divorce Gino, but I don't know if she will.
Hmm.
But
She won't.
this thing about her children, and if Gino really does not get on his feet and start moving for her to get her kids over here, it may be an issue with Jasmine.
Or
with
like I
the
said, Regina, and her, and also her mother, her 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 family is not doing the best. She can't go
Mhm.
back to the, or she can't go back. She well,
Oh,
they can go back now, but her family is not doing the best. Her mother's really ill. She wants to be there with her mother, and she can't
mm,
go back.
mm. Well, we feel for well, we don't see where that ends up. The other couple that we want to talk about real quick is Ed and Liz. These couple right here. Ed, on the episode that we just saw, Ed and Liz, they started. Of course, Liz's daughter is there with them now,
Hmm.
and they're in the kitchen getting some stuff where they're cooking together. And Ed is complaining about flour on the cabinet, and I couldn't even see the flour. Ed was in the way, just making things much worse than it had to be. And even a little girl had to tell them, "Why don't both of y'all just stop all this talking until we finish this, and then y'all talk about this stuff later?" How come the little girl's got to be the adult in the family?
Because Big Ed and Liz, they like to cause drama.
It
Yeah,
is drama.
yeah, he is drama. It is drama. That's what I like to say. They don't. They like to just party over it, and I think that Liz goes with it instead of him. Liz telling him no.
Yeah.
Sometimes she does, but I think most of the time she goes with it. And that little girl has more common sense than he does or her. I hate, and that's what I'm gonna say to that. She need,
Mm.
they need to have more common sense. People, not everybody, but people, a lot of people lack common sense.
We
Common
all
sense
like
ain't too common.
common sense. Common sense could help a lot of people out. My thing, I did not
And
like
I'm
how
just
they
saying that
wrote
for
up
I'm
the
not saying that for any I'm not saying that to anybody on here. I'm just saying that for people that's on the TV show. I'm saying that
right.
they need to have more common sense, and they need to have he needs to start realizing that they are going to get married. They have a wedding date set, and that's just going to change your life even more because you're going to have a lot more of that little kid. That's going to be a big part of your life, Ed. So
Absolutely.
you're going to have to start changing your ways.
I mean,
Every little mess that she didn't. They were making a they were baking. That's just part of baking. When you make a mess, you got to clean it up.
there you go.
But he was making a he was making a big part of that, and I didn't care for that part.
I mean, what happens when this little girl makes a real mess and Ed sees it? What's going to happen with that? Because if he
Well,
got mad
I
at a
don't
little
even
bit
want to go
of
into that,
flour,
Regina, because I see stuff that I don't want to talk about because I don't. I just see the I see the Ed is like a whole different
but
person
that's the thing, and
behind.
that's why relationships, when you're getting with somebody, you got to watch out for your kid. Now, this little girl is in the house with them. Before she wasn't.
Mhm.
Liz knew Ed's behavior
Well, she's
before.
staying there. She's staying there. The little girl's staying there for the summertime. She's not staying
Yeah.
there permanently, but she's staying there for the summertime, and that's plenty of time. We'll stay there. And I just don't, I don't want to. I just see a lot of things that I think there's a lot of things that goes on behind the scenes that we don't know about
Of course.
when the cameras are off, and I don't want to talk about it because I think
Mhm.
it's emotional for me because I think that I could see what goes on, but I'm not gonna say it because I hope it don't happen this way, but I just see it happening, and it needs to change.
Ed does, but Ed's gonna have to change, and Liz's gonna have to hold him accountable. She's gonna have to hold his feet to the fire. And
Mm.
but the problem with Ed is when Liz does hold his feet to the fire, he just gets worse.
Well, if you think Virginia, when they had 90 day uh when they went on that 14-day thing and they had that therapy and stuff
Yeah,
on there,
at the
and
resort.
Big Ed and Liz was on there, and they got in a great big fight about everything, and he walked out in it. I think he went and stayed in a hotel room while she stayed in the room.
Hmm.
It's just it tells you a lot of it tells you what goes on in their marriage when
Hmm.
they have it on the last resort, and then you're kind of seeing it on this season here.
Yeah, I don't see that they have really gotten any real better with this relationship.
No, I not
Um,
no, I don't think they took that therapy to heart because they were on that last resort for several weeks, you know,
yeah.
and you're supposed to have when you have therapy, it's supposed to help you in the marriage, but I think it's just made it worse. To be
Mm.
truthfully honest with you.
Well, I want Big Ed and Liz to find the right love, but I am concerned about this little girl coming into the picture
So
now.
am I. I'm really
Not only
concerned
the little
about it.
girl, not
Yeah.
only the little girl, because she's got a father, because she lives with her father, I believe.
Yeah.
And so Ed, the way he
Well,
treats this,
her father has custody because allegedly
yes,
Liz don't have custody.
yes, the father
And I
has
like to
custody.
also know, and I'm going to say this real quick, Virginia. I like to also know how does she end up on camera? And I haven't ever seen her before on camera. And in order for her to be on camera, you have to uh have to have the proof. I mean the signage
Permission.
off. Yeah, you have to have consult of your other parent. You know, especially when she's not
He
the
could
full.
have gave it to her. The daddy could have said, "Okay, yeah, you can have her on the show, but these are the guidelines, the rules, regulation, whatever." He could have said that. But going back to Big Ed, this little girl is there now. Be careful because she got a daddy. So be careful how you communicate with her. Be careful how you even have conversations with her. My concern is the little girl is very smart.
Yeah.
She even have to tell two adults, y'all have this conversation later. Let's just make this stuff. But Ed, you are being petty, talking about
Mhm.
flour on the counter, and
That
and
is
Liz
that
go over
that
there,
that
and
is
then
petty
Liz is
because
petty back because Liz goes back to the stove, and Liz say, "Well, Ed, you did this, you left this on the stove. Y'all are both being petty. It's
mhm,
just ridiculous to me, Ed. Flour on the counter. Go sit down somewhere, Ed. You don't have to be in the kitchen while they're cooking. Let the girls cook. You go sit down or go ride one of your Vespas or something.
well
Leave the girls in there."
he did walk out. I think Liz told him to get out of the room um
Mm-hmm.
when they was in the seat and they were talking, but it had to be to the point where Liz got upset with him
Right.
to for him to walk out. Yeah, yeah. He should have just walked out in the first place because they were baking, and that's going to happen. You know. You know if
No,
you're.
what Ed needs to know is Ed needs to know his limitations. If Ed knows that he is a very clean person and there's people out there that are like this, they do not like mess. And if he knows that, if you know
Mhm.
the girls are going in the kitchen to cook, you then just say, listen, I'm not going to be a part of this. Not that I don't want to be, but because of this feeling that I have when I see mess, I don't want it to mess up the you and her having this relationship while you guys are cooking. So let me
Yeah.
just stay out of here until the kitchen is until you guys are done in the kitchen until everything is cleaned up, and then we'll sit at the dinner table and eat whatever this beautiful food y'all cook. That's
Yeah.
what Ed needs to know when he can input himself and when he needs to excuse himself.
Yeah. Well, I think he
Let
has
me
a
get
look.
your talk on it. Your take, Jonathan. What's your thought?
I have no interest in Ed and Liz whatsoever. I cannot take this couple seriously in any
Mm,
way, shape, or form. I completely believe that both of them are on this show to be on a reality show. I don't even see friendship, much less a relationship between these two. I don't even
yeah.
think they necessarily like each other. I think that both Liz's mother and grandmother know this, but they're just playing the game.
Hmm.
And it's sad to me that Liz is involving her daughter in this
Yep.
mess. Putting her daughter on TV for a storyline, I think is
Hmm.
extremely irresponsible of her. As a
Mhm.
mother, I can't respect that under any circumstances. So, if anything, I just want to fast forward through Liz and Ed because I don't see any authenticity between these two whatsoever.
And Dustin, I want to ask you this. Sometimes I feel like Ed and Liz are not even really together. They just say they're together so that they
They're
can be
not.
together.
They're not. Allegedly, they're not together right now. They're just doing this for the show and for the money.
That's the way I
Exactly.
feel allegedly, that they're just here for the show.
And
And
But
again,
it's
they're not. I could tell you for one thing because I seen something a while ago, right before the season started, said they are not together. They're just doing this for the money, and I'm starting to feel that way because soon as they get on this, soon as TLC calls, and I'm gonna say it allegedly to protect everybody on here. Allegedly, as soon as TLC calls, they want the money, and they're doing this for the money. They're not physically together.
Well, here's this other couple that we're going to talk about here, Mahmoud and Nicole. It's hard for me to watch Mahmoud and Nicole in these scenes because we know, allegedly, according to these
We
stories,
know what yeah
happened.
we
And
know
it's
what
very
happened.
hard for
So.
me. It's very hard for me to watch it because we know what happened. And as I watch it, it just gives my mind to like look closer to see where his behavior is, because it in my mind I'm like I want to see it because I want to be able to see where all of this not necessarily started, But once I know something about a person, it makes me look closer at that person. I guess I'm trying to say.
Exactly. I agree with
Mm.
you 110%, Regina.
Mhm.
It's hard for me yes, I do watch I watch this couple, but I don't. It's hard for me to watch it because I know what happened. And she doesn't deserve any of this. I don't like either one of them. But I'm just gonna, I just feel like I feel like more that she's more, she's a lot controlling, and he doesn't, he doesn't treat her well.
I
He
don't
doesn't
understand
treat her.
why Nicole wanted to be with this guy who comes from this country where women are so submissive anyway. She's such a strong woman. It
Yeah,
just, I would have never put the two countries together.
I
So
wouldn't
I
have
don't
either.
know if she
No,
thought she was going to change who he was
nope.
because they're in the shop walking down the street looking at outfits, looking at this shirt with the like a swimsuit of a lady on the front, and knowing good and well that is not him. And she even tries to put it up on him, knowing that is not him. So why are you even with
Why are you even with him?
or
Why are
be
you
with
even with
this
him,
guy?
Nicole? Why are you even with him? Mm,
And he comes from such a strong country of where women are to be more submissive.
mhm.
So it's I just don't understand why she would put herself in that position. And then she's like, well, she deals with so much and she just wants him to be there to pay attention to her and do this and do that. Like when she came in, she was like, well, I just thought you'd be more excited to see me and so forth. He does not come from that culture.
Nope.
So
He does
what
not.
were you asking for, Nicole? You was like you were looking for something and you were looking all in the wrong places. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Jonathan, what's your thoughts on this couple?
I have a couple things to say about Mahmoud and Nicole. First of all, I think I said this in a previous review of this particular couple. If you have a man, and you ain't seen him in a couple months, and he ain't
Right.
excited to see you, he ain't jumping your bones, if he ain't kissing all up on you, hugging all up on you. And again, I said this in the previous review. You know what I'm saying? I understand his culture may not be susceptible to a lot of public displays of affection. I understand that. However, I don't see any semblance of that in his face, in his actions, in his mannerisms, and anything when y'all are together. And when you're with someone, you don't get in a relationship and then automatically try to change who they are because they literally want to change who each other are. She wants to change him to be less conservative,
Right.
and he wants to change her to be more conservative. Well, if you get into a relationship with someone who is a certain way, you can't expect for them to change who they are for your
Mm,
benefit. You can't expect that out of someone else. And so that's why it's hard for me to watch Mahmoud and Nicole because that's what they're
Mm,
constantly trying to do with one another. Regina, you mentioned before, she brought up this t shirt with the bikini on it. You know how Mahmoud is going to feel about
right.
that. And you know darn well he's not going to put something on like that. So why would you even consider
Why?
trying to bring that up to him? Girl, it's a lost cause. And so I really don't understand Mahmoud and Nicole. I don't understand why they are together in any way. Mahmoud does not seem to be interested in Nicole in the least. In
No.
the
yeah,
least, he doesn't
they're
even
not.
seem to be attracted to her.
Mhm.
And so when he saw that woman who was dressed in what seemed to be Muslim garb, and she thought as though he was interested in her, which I don't know if that was necessarily the case. I think he just kind of respected the fact that
Mm,
Mhm.
she was dressed the way that she was. And I think that she got a little bit jealous of that. And I understand Mahmoud's reaction to that because I do feel as though she overreacted a little bit because I feel as though if he was really looking at her in that way, the camera definitely would have caught that. And the
of course.
camera didn't catch any of that whatsoever. So I do believe that Nicole overreacted in that sense, but I think she overreacted because she understands and recognizes that Mahmoud does not seem to be interested in her in the least.
Mhm.
And so
I
I don't
think
understand
she's
why they're together.
insecure also. I think Nicole is very insecure. I think she wants to be a
Agreed.
powerful woman, but I think there's
Right.
some insecurities regarding her past that she's inner dealing with. And I just think that she just needs to make sure that the next guy that she's with that is going to help her with that insecurity and
Nope.
that assurity to know who she is, that will let her be herself and also give her that protection. Because I really think Nicole is looking for protection. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I
Right.
think she's looking for protection but unfortunately, she still also wants to be herself. Not unfortunately, but she's looking for protection and she still wants to be able to be herself, to be comfortable in being herself. And she wants her mate to be comfortable with her being herself. But in order to do that, you're going to have to get with someone that understands you and will accept you, your culture, your likes, your dislikes, and the differences. And you're not going to find that, I don't think, in those other countries, unless you find a rebellious guy in one of these other countries that don't want nothing to do with their culture anymore. And so that's going to be kind of difficult, especially shopping in those cultures that you're shopping at. Go ahead, Jonathan.
If you cannot accept someone for who they are when you meet them, why would you get in a relationship with them? That makes no sense whatsoever. It
Well, I
makes
can tell.
absolutely zero sense unless you just want to be on a TV show.
I can tell
Mhm.
you why, Jonathan. You
Why?
just
Like
said the words out of your mouth. TV show. That's why they want the money.
well, she wants to. I think what Nicole wants is she wants to be more of like Kobe, Kobe and
Kobe.
Emily,
Yeah.
because Kobe. Remember, Kobe comes from a culture where men are supposed to be more dominant, that women are not the stronger force. But Kobe's culture is not as strong in it as I think Mahmoud's culture.
Yeah.
There's
I
where
do
the
agree.
difference is. So, I don't know. I feel bad for
I
Nicole.
think Kobe is a lot more adaptable than
Of
Mahmoud, whereas
course.
Mahmoud is a lot more strict when it
Yeah.
comes to his religion,
Mhm.
whereas Kobe's issues are more aligned with his culture, not necessarily what he believes in, it's more what his traditions are. And so, therefore, it's easier for him to adapt to what Emily is used to because he's not that much tied to his necessarily to his culture. But
Mhm.
Mahmoud is so tied to his religion, which again, I don't understand why he would get with someone like Nicole who has nothing to do with his culture or his religion. It makes no sense to me whatsoever why they're together.
Well, I'm gonna
I
tell you
do.
this. I know why Mahmoud would get with Nicole because she, to their culture, she may look as though she's very timid. And
Hmm.
so their culture usually likes very timid women, allegedly, we'll say. Because they don't like the feisty women. They don't like the women that will fight them on things. They don't like the women that are combative with stuff. They want the one that's just going to be, yes, I'm going to do this. Yes, 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 I'm going to do that. And so he may have been looking at that in her because if you look at her and to me, I thought she was a very timid person too, just looking at her. But then as I
Mm.
start watching the show, I saw she's very strong in her opinions. She's not as timid as she looks. So maybe that's where the confusion went. And then for her looking at him, she probably wanted him to be her strength, to be her protector, but she got more than she bargained for.
Right.
I do agree.
I think Nicole's intentions to be with Mahmoud were actually genuine. I do think that they thought that she found love in Mahmoud, genuinely found love in Mahmoud. However, I don't think I don't think Mahmoud's intentions were reciprocated in that
No,
same way.
yeah,
And
Mhm.
Nicole actually went the extra mile to move to Egypt to
she
try to
did.
assimilate to his culture to please him. And she went outside of her comfort zone to try to please him. And Mahmoud did not really accept that.
Reciprocate.
He did not
Mhm.
really, see that in her. But that was just Nicole's fault for getting with him in the first place.
Yeah. Now I'm hoping that now she had left before. This is not the first time that she's broken up with him and gotten back together. She had left before, but this time is really some serious allegations out there regarding their relationship. So I'm hoping that she would take this as a point to say, listen, her happiness is not built in Mahmoud's acceptance of her. And she has to understand that there's some guy out there that really does want to be with her and to be her protector and to allow her to be herself. And I'm hoping that she finds that because I really want people like her who are very nice, very caring, because she seems like a very nurturing, fun person. But I want her to find her perfect mate.
I
And
do too.
whoever he is, I want him to be the perfect match for her. And
Mm.
so I'm really hoping that she finds that. Next person you wanted to cover, Dustin?
I want to cover Rob and Sophia.
Okay. Now,
Rob.
funny to me, but the People magazine does not have Rob and Sophia on this article that we have here for the cast. But I'm going to pull up another picture of them. Go ahead, Dustin, while you talk.
Yeah, Rob and Sophia, they're no longer together. I'm just gonna say that real quick.
Mhm.
And I know I'm so happy for Sophia because she never was happy in the last season we had. And so far she hasn't been with him in this season. She's not happy with the way he acts. He acts like very immature, and I hope that she doesn't go back with him. She needs to get somebody that loves her for her, and don't try to
Mhm.
change anybody. Because if you try to change somebody, that ain't gonna go good, Regina. That not at all. It's not gonna go
Mhm.
good at all. And
Mhm.
it's just not. It's not good. It's not a good match for her and him.
Yeah, Rob and Sophie, I don't know about this too. We've been saying this for the longest. I wish Aaron was here to say, I don't like Rob. I don't like Rob.
She said that. She said that to me that. She said that to me last night. I don't like Robin. I said I know. I know you
Now,
don't like.
here, I want to say this about Rob. Rob, I think you need to seek some real counsel as far as
They need therapy.
what
Both
are
of them
some
do.
things that you're dealing with yourself, Rob. And that's a serious thing. That's not no joke. That's serious, serious. I think Rob does need to do some counseling. What has happened in your past? What's going on? And also, he needs to get some coaching. He needs a young man to come who has some experience, maybe a man who's been married for quite some time and can really coach him on
Mhm.
life and life with a woman, how to treat a woman. Because thank you, Holy Spirit, because there's a difference between treating a girl and treating a woman,
Right.
treating a fly by night and treating a woman, treating somebody who you just don't want to stay with, you just want to get with for a night Summer, and treating a wife. There's a whole difference in that. So Rob needs some real coaching on that because this letter that he left on the banister thing there with this broken down flower, and then she's thinking, and she's right. I'm thinking it's a love letter, and she pick it up, and it's a list of things that she need to not do and clean up her makeup and all this mess. He left that there with these rose petals and these broken letter. Rob, what kind of man are you that would write a letter and then talk about she uses too much toilet tissue? Can I tell y'all something?
Go ahead, Regina.
That part right there hit me really hard, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. Let me take
Mhm.
Rob and Sophie off the camera for a second. When Rob has here in this letter not use so much toilet tissue, first of all, she is a female, Rob. She has to wipe twice. You only have to wipe once, okay? She is a female. Second thing is that thing hit me real hard because my ex, my first husband, had an issue with me and toilet tissue. And that's why that thing, I nearly slapped the TV when this part came on because my ex husband told me, oh, you're not supposed to take the tissue and roll it like this. You're supposed to use squares. That's why it's perforated. And you're only supposed to use 3 squares.
I'm sorry, Regina. I'm so sorry, Regina.
Three squares. Let me tell you, I wanted to beat the whole crap out of him because I was like, first of all, I am a woman. I wipe twice. And there's no way that you can do that with a one ply because he wasn't buying a 2 ply because you're so cheap, was buying a one ply and you want 3 squares. I was like, so I have this big thing now, and listen, it's still with me. I will make sure I buy tissue by the case.
Me too.
That thing still hit me to that point. So it jolted me a little bit to my past when he said that. And I was like, Sophie, that is your cue to get out of Dodge. Leave. When a man starts complaining about stinking toilet tissue, leave. The pettiness of it all. I can understand he's saying, listen, I want you to clean up because I don't like a mess either. But Rob, your wife has left. She's now coming back. She walks in the house and you take all this time to write a dang on list of what she need to do to clean up instead of writing her a list of I miss you, sweetie. I love you. I'm so glad you're here. I think he broke that flower up on
I
purpose.
think he did.
He wrote that nasty note on there and he took that broken down flower and then have the nerve to say, oh, I jumped out the flying. The car was still moving and I jumped out and stole that flower from somebody side of the yard or something, trying to act like he was this great big hero. Rob, put your own cape on because that's ridiculous. That broke down flower when Publix has flowers that you can buy in a bundle for little of nothing. He tries to
And
make himself out to be a hero And at the same time, you putting this girl down, Rob, you need to be alone for a while. You need some coaching and you need some serious counseling. That's what I have to say. Go ahead,
You
Justin.
need you need to. I do agree with you that, Regina. You know, even though I'm a man and stuff, but I still use a lot of toilet paper. So that doesn't make that makes no sense, and that really that really takes another level to me because that really I wanted to punch my TV screen because I just felt like you're not treated the way she he is not treating her the way that she is. Um, but he needs to get some help with that, and
He does.
that's downright disrespectful. And I see them two get the divorce. They they're not no longer together. That's one big part of it, Regina. They are separated in the season so far, and I don't see them getting back together. If they do, you can tell me I'm wrong. But I don't see them getting back together, and I just hope that she finds somebody that makes her happy and treat her well because he doesn't do that.
Yeah, he's got some issues. He's got
He's
some
got some, he's
he,
got some he's
thank you.
got some
He's got some unresolved issues. That's what he's got. Some unresolved issues. Jonathan, go ahead and tell me your take on this couple.
Rob has clearly never lived with a woman because, I lived with Jennifer Star McCullum for many, many years. And she goes through some toilet paper. And it surprised me. It really does. Like, it really did. It came as a surprise to me because, Regina, like your ex, I actually only use 3 tiles of toilet paper per wipe. Now, I do wipe 3 times, but I actually only use 3 tiles. I mean, that does suffice for me, but when you're a woman, it's going to be different. So if your budget does not suffice for a woman's usage of toilet paper, then maybe you should consider getting your money up, sir. And then actually, Rob is extremely passive aggressive because with all the issues that you've brought to Sophia's life, and for you to find the nerve to write a list of all the things that Sophie needs to fix, how about Sophie write a list for all the things you need to fix, Rob? And I think that would be a whole book worth of things that you need to fix, Rob. And so Rob is so immature, and Rob is
Very.
playing high school games with this young woman. And I really do not appreciate that. And I would hope that we would see their breakup on television, but I don't think we will. But
I think we're gonna
Sophie
I think we're
deserves
gonna
so much better than Rob.
Okay.
And for Rob to have the nerve to be jealous of Sophie's friend coming from the UK, and he has the nerve to ask him, well, is he good looking? Rob, have you looked in the mirror? You're good looking. So why do you have any type of
Oh,
audacity to be
insecure.
jealous of Sophie's friend coming to see her? Just because you wouldn't make the trip across seas, maybe you don't have the budget to cover a trip across seas. And I understand that if that's the case, but you can't be upset. At least Sophie had the generosity to let you know, the maturity to let you know that she has a male friend coming over. It would be immature for her to have this man coming over all willy-nilly, and then all of a sudden you see this random good-looking, model-looking man coming to see your woman. That you would then have something to be mad at her for then, but she had the maturity to tell you that this friend was coming over. But as good as Rob looks, why would he be jealous of anyone when you look as good as you
Insecure.
do, boy?
He's insecure, and it goes back again. What are these past issues that Rob has not disclosed? Now,
Exactly.
I just so happen to have a roll of tissue that I got from the hotel because they always have extra, so I just take a little extra. So let's look at what two squares would look like. Okay, so here is one square. Okay, that's one. No. Now wait a minute. Now let's get the second square. Okay. Here is the second square. Okay. And then here is the third square. Now y'all gonna put this on. Now this is 2-ply. And Rob probably ain't buying 2-ply. So we gonna put these three together and we're like, okay, that's what we're using. No, ladies, we don't do that. No, I do the roll method. I will roll that thing. Okay, that's one.
Okay. Now,
like
Regina,
that. Yeah, me too,
I
Regina.
do I do fold my three squares, so I don't know if that, adds
Wait,
any points to
wait.
my score.
So
But
you
I
got
do,
yours and you fold it,
yeah, yes, I do fold it.
Jonathan.
I just fold it in half. I just fold it once in half. That's all.
No, a woman, we ain't doing that. We doing this. We doing this method right here. We doing this method right here. That's one wipe. That's
Okay,
one wipe.
one. That's one
One.
white.
That's
Yeah.
one wipe. And then we throwing that away, and then we going back and we doing it again.
And that's why I say Rob is playing high school games because he's clearly never lived with a woman at all.
Oh.
Clearly.
And even if he is, even if Rob says, listen, we on a budget, we have limited income, we don't need to be using all this tissue. That should not have been the first letter that she saw when she walked in the door, coming back home to you with that rose on it. Rob, you got to learn how to get your point across. I'm gonna say I can agree with Rob if they're on a budget, tissue can be expensive. And if
Mhm.
that's a topic, okay, just like you saying she leave the makeup all over the place. I understand because when I go out and if I'm roommating with some friends of mine too, I don't want to share a bathroom with some of these women because I can't stand my countertop being a mess with makeup everywhere and makeup all in the sink and I can't stand it. So I
Me
get that.
neither.
But Rob, the way you deliver and when you deliver your messages is what I believe is a big part of what Sophie has an issue with.
If anything, that letter should have been an apology to
Right.
Sophie for your felonious deeds towards
Woo,
this young
alone.
woman that you decided to marry. That's what should have been on that piece of paper, a sincere apology
A
for your
sincere
actions towards your wife.
sincere apology. Now let me roll this tissue up because I'm gonna use this tissue because I ain't gonna let this tissue go to waste. Go ahead, Dustin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dustin. Who we covering next? These two, I tell you.
Uh, Ashley and Manuel.
Oh boy, here we go. He want a motorcycle, y'all. He want a whole motorcycle. What y'all think
I
Lambert wanted that motorcycle for? He trying to be cool.
well,
I think
did
it
you?
was it was it was Ashley that brought up the fact that Manuel wanted a motorcycle. So Ashley initiated this thing. So if
Yeah,
anything, it's her fault that Manuel is considering going to New York by himself to see his family. But go, y'all go ahead. I got more to say though.
Well,
go ahead, Dustin.
what I was gonna say is he wants. I didn't know if you caught this part, Jonathan or Regina, either one. But he
Mm,
wants to go to New York by himself,
yeah, he don't want her
and
on his motorcycle.
he's going on this. He's wanting to go on a motorcycle, but he ain't going to drive the motorcycle all the way to New York. I can tell you that right now. And I kind of agree with Ashley on this part, Regina. They
Yeah,
are they're a husband and wife now, so the kids have to know about her at some point. So I think that she's allowed to go to New York with him. And if somebody disagrees with me, you could tell me that. But
I think she should. But even if Manuel said, now I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. If Manuel said, "Listen, I just want to go to see my family first, and then I can bring you over there to see my family." Okay, I can understand that. But y'all need to have the conversation first, because I think, like Ashley was saying, she hasn't even met the family yet, right?
no,
Hmm.
she hasn't met the family. But I think
Right.
at some point she does have to meet the family at some point. But
Mhm.
he's keeping it tight lipped. He doesn't want to tell her the information that he knows that he wants to go him by himself. But I don't think that he needs to go by himself. I think they need to go together. But he wants to go by himself, and I don't think it's going to go too well.
It may not go too well. I don't know. I think it's best that they have that conversation first. And I think Ashley really needs to have some strong conversation with
And Mike
Manuel as
and
far
Mike
as what transpires once she gets this motorcycle for him. She needs
My
to have a
question
real
is, my
conversation about
question
that.
is why did you wait until you was in the motorcycle room or the motorcycle place to cause the issue? You're gonna sit there and tell me you're gonna do this right there.
Mhm,
Ashley acted like she didn't even know about it till they talked about it in the camera. So why did you even tell? Why did you even? Why did you wait? You should have told her that before this, and then you're gonna cause all of this big fight with that. No, no, thank you.
Hi, Maya and Casey. Thank you for being here.
I
Well,
like it.
Jonathan, tell us your thoughts on this. Do you think that Manuel should get this motorcycle? And what's your thoughts on the motorcycle and actually not even meeting the family in New York yet?
Ashley frustrates me so much because she acts as though she does not know who she married. But here's my thing. I'm taking Manuel's side on this issue because Ashley bought into this situation. So you
Mhm.
get what you pay for. You're getting what you marry. So I don't know why she's acting surprised when Manuel says he wants to go to New York by himself. She knows who she married. You know how your man operates. And I
Yeah.
feel as though it was Ashley's sense of manipulation to try to buy him. She literally said, I'm going to take Manuel to this motorcycle shop. So maybe that will allow him to open up about him, me having a relationship with his kids. That is literally manipulation. Ashley is trying to manipulate Manuel into a conversation. If you have to manipulate someone into a conversation, why are you together?
Yeah.
It's a classic case of two strong headed control freaks wanting to have control over every decision that is being made. And I love the fact that Manuel is a lot more laid back in his control, whereas Ashley is so upfront with her control. And I love the fact that Manuel doesn't allow Ashley to really get under his skin. And I also want to discuss the fact that Ashley is taking Manuel to to this place where she wants to get his chakras, taken care of so that he's more open to communicate and again, more manipulation. And why, when you know good and gosh darn well that Manuel is very into his Catholicism, and so he
Right.
does not believe in your witching and all this witch stuff that you do, and she wants to be offended by the fact that he doesn't tell his family that she's a witch. Don't you understand why he doesn't want to bring the subject up to
You
his
gotta
family?
ease that
Because
stuff,
his
Ashley.
family is
Mhm.
Catholic. They don't believe in that. So why would he bring this up to his family, Ashley? Ashley is so immature. And I think Ashley's mother sees that she's immature, and that's why she deals with Ashley the way that she does.
Yeah.
But Manuel is not the type to follow up behind Ashley in all her immaturity. And I
No.
think that's why Manuel kind of lets Ashley slide through that because he just kind of has to deal with it. But Ashley really does annoy me because it's she acts as though like I said before, she doesn't know who she married. Manuel is very strong-headed and Manuel's going to do what he wants to do. But I love the fact that Manuel took the initiative to take some English language classes to try to
Me
communicate
too.
a little bit better,
Mhm.
and not being prompted by Ashley to do that. I love the fact that Manuel is taking the steps to have a better relationship with Ashley, whereas Ashley is really not willing to try to see things from Manuel's points of view. Ashley just wants things done her way and her way only, and I can't respect that at all. And I really have to take Manuel's side on this thing. If he wants to go to New York, why don't you ask Ashley? Why don't you ask Manuel why he wants to go to New York on his own? I'm sure he has a really good reason as to why he wants to go to New York on his own, and that doesn't mean that he never wants to take you to New York to meet his family. But she's acting like he never wants to take Ashley to New York to meet his family. She just always wants to go to the worst case scenario automatically without having the conversation. Ashley doesn't want to have the hard conversations. She just wants to go into the bathroom and bang out their issues. But you can't do that. You have to have the mature conversations. And because Ashley is so immature, she won't take the step to have the mature conversation. And that is the main issue between these two.
Well, Mayim Casey
Mhm.
said this. She says, I'm Rican, and not all of us believe in brujas.
Okay,
Brujas
come on,
are
Ricken.
witches. Come
Come
on,
on,
because
Ricken.
I know all that because I would hang some of my best friends when I was in high school was Puerto Rican. So I remember that.
Ricken. Yes, all right, Regina. Ricken.
You got to know how to roll them R's. She said, in my culture,
Ricken.
she said, in my culture, brujas do black magic. Yes. That's the way I remember them too. And so he's
Okay.
got to be able to slowly get them to understand that you can't just throw all this Ashley on him just because you the wife. You can't just throw all this,
Right.
and I do understand what he said when he said that he wants to learn English, but it's harder for him because he's locked in the house all day. because when you're learning another language, you need to be around people that are speaking that language. And when Ashley comes home, she's basically speaking Spanish to him. He needs to get out and learn and and explore and learn more that way. But I'm glad he has taken measures to learn English. Now,
Can
as
he
far
not?
as go ahead, Dustin.
Can he not drive yet? Does he not have a
Well, he's got to
license?
be able to drive if he's getting a motorcycle. Don't you have to have a license, some form of license to
Yeah,
Yes,
you
you
have to have
do.
a license for that, but can't
yeah.
like I'm talking about like can't he get like a car or something
Right.
for
That's what
for
I was
him
thinking. Why don't he
for
just
him?
get a car? Why does he have to
Why
have a
don't he get a car
motorcycle?
and then he can get out and then he can experience the English talk to more people and then you get more
And because he's saying he
experience.
needs transportation to get out. Now, here's what Ashley can do. Ashley can also get him a little scooter. Ask Ed about getting a Vespa or
Oh my
something
god.
right now. For you got to spend all that
Ed.
because motorcycles ain't cheap. Go get a little Vespa or a scooter or something.
Y'all,
Buy
I honestly see Manuel wanting to
Ed.
be independent. I think Manuel wants to be able to do things on his own. And I have a little bit of a feeling that once Manuel finds his independence, he won't
Zoom.
find any need to be with Ashley anymore. I
You
really
know what?
feel that way.
I had to do a little dance because I don't know.
Can
I
I
would
can
say
I
this.
say that I agree with that, Jonathan? I think that as soon as he gets his independence and he gets a green card, I don't see him being together with her either because he doesn't have a reason to. As long as he can get that green
Ooh,
card and he can get his independence, then he's gonna get with somebody else because he ain't happy with her.
you know what? Mayim Casey say you have to go to driving school. Okay, for the
Mhm.
motorcycle. Okay, I'm gonna say this with Ashley and Manuel. I do like the two of them together. I do
I
like.
do, but I just don't think I
I
liked
really
it.
want them to be able to work where one is not getting hurt. And in a lot of their situations, when I say one is getting hurt, Manuel is getting hurt. He's not seeing the family. She's getting hurt because she wants him to introduce him to the family and other things that they've gone through. I do like this couple. I want them to be able to make it, but she's going to have to learn that even though he's her husband and she's the wife, he still need his independence.
Right.
And
Because
she's
then
got to be able to trust him that that he's going to go and he's going to come back. And if she does not have that trust and she wants to be clingy with him and wants to be with him at everywhere he goes, then she needs to let him go right now because he's going to be like a bird in the cage that once you open that door, he's gone.
That's exactly what I'm
Mhm.
saying, Regina. That's exactly
Yeah,
what I'm saying. Once he gets his independence, he ain't gonna have
yeah,
no need for no more Ashley, y'all.
yeah. So
and
she
he
got to be careful
and,
about putting that tight loose on. Give him his independence. Tell him, go ahead, babe. I'll see you when you get back, and let him do that. Now, if he go out there and do wrong, then that's on him. But also, I have learned when you hold on to somebody too tight, the moment they get to get that exit, ooh,
mhm.
And I have a funny feeling that it's Ashley that's keeping Manuel in that house. I really
yeah,
think it's Ashley that's keeping him locked up because I think she feels as though, like you were saying, Regina, she feels as though once he does get his independence, he's going to
yeah.
have no need for her because he's literally depending on Ashley right now.
Well,
But
I
once
don't
he
think he
gets
will.
independent, he ain't going to need her no more.
I hope it's not that he don't need her anymore, but I know he's gonna want to go out, spend more time out. He may want to go to a little bar, get him a little beer or something, hang out with the fellas or whatever, go spend time with his family. And that's gonna mean less time spending with Ashley. She's got to be able to deal with that.
Well,
And I
Ashley is
don't think she can
gonna have
deal
to
with
learn,
it,
and that's
Regina.
the
I
part.
really
well,
don't
That's
think.
mhm,
I'm going to disagree with Regina on this, but I have to agree
mhm,
with Jonathan.
mhm.
I think that he's going. I do agree with Jonathan on that 110% because he doesn't have a reason to be with her after this is over with. I bet you we are going to have a talk on here. Maybe
Well,
not.
we'll see.
Maybe
I
not now, but we're gonna have a talk later in the
We
season,
will.
or maybe at the tell all. We are gonna have a talk
That's
to
it.
where he is no longer together with her, and he's just doing this to be getting the green card and
He
getting
gonna
out
be
of
like
this
Michael.
marriage.
He gonna be like Michael Dustin gone.
Right.
He gonna be like Michael and Angela.
And I have to be honest, y'all. I think that's what I want for Manuel because I think Manuel will be happier with his independence and happier not having to depend on. Because I don't think Manuel likes to depend on Ashley for everything. So I think Manuel will be so much happier if he finds his independence, figures himself out in this new space. And he said he wants to go out and get new friends and,
Yeah,
really be a
it's
part of
gonna
this
take his
American
nasty time.
society. And I really think that Manuel will be happier in that space without Ashley. And then once he gets his footing, then if he and Ashley can come back together and find a new relationship together in that new space, then that will be better for them. But for him to be dependent on Ashley for everything is not necessarily a good thing.
No, no, it's not.
Yep.
No,
Well,
no.
you guys, that's been our chat on 90 Day Fiance here with Dustin and Jonathan. Erin is out sick. She'll be back next week. Listen, you guys, this has been interesting. Y'all continue the conversation in the chat. Tell me what you think about some of the topics that we talked about here.
Mhm.
Do you think Manuel is going to stay with Ashley? Do you think he
I,
should?
I
Do you
don't.
think
I
Gino
don't.
should stay with Dust? Do you think, not with Dust, do you think Gino should stay with Jasmine? What do you think
No.
about that?
No.
Y'all continue this conversation in the chat. I thank y'all so very much for watching. Listen, we're going to be back next week with some more great, interesting conversations on this 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After next week. Same time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I appreciate y'all for joining. We're going to say goodbye for now, but we'll be back next week on the count of three, team. 1, 2, 3. Good
Bye,
night,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
everyone.